You know, sometimes it's nice just to come into the layout, you know, with your favorite beverage or whatever, and, you know, just poke away at a few things that have been bugging you. This has been bugging me for a while. I want to get this section finished, like primarily finished anyway, so I can move on to over here where the stand-in structure is, because I got some ideas that I want to start working on just before the overpass. It's sort of another chapter beyond the overpass over here. So I want to focus in, but this creek's been bugging me. I don't really like it that much, the way it looks, so I'm going to ditch some of it with some tall grass here. And then lay in some heavier acrylic resin later. But in the meantime, I'm just going to pinch in a bunch of 12 mil light green static grass. This is FS 627. I use a lot of the light green because I just find it like better for my color palette, because I can always paint it later, and I like it a little bit lighter because I can hit it with some green paint later if I want to change it up. This is really easy to do this. I've shown this before. I don't know why I never thought of this earlier back in the day, before I bought my static grass applicator. I mean, I think the static grass applicator is great for shorter grass, but it's not really any good for this longer grass, to be honest with you. It just doesn't, you know, lay it in, you know, the way you want it. And if you use just matte medium, like I use it straight from the bottle, but you can see I just put a bit of water down because I want it to capillary in between the rocks a bit better. But, you know, it really doesn't matter. If you use it straight matte medium, sorry if the stool's squeaky there. If you use straight matte medium, it stands up better, right? You know, mind you, it goes further when you thin it with water, but I just mix it right on the surface, the ground surface. I just throw water and glue and paint onto the ground surface. You can't go wrong. Like, just throw earth paint, man. When in doubt, just throw earth paint, like thin earth paint onto your terrain. And then throw a dark wash over later, plant some grass. It'll all turn out good for you, right? The first part you might not like, but just keep doing it and watch it. Watch how fast your, your skill set evolves when you just start doing stuff. You know, I was thinking about this for a couple of days, and then do you know what I did to get going on it? I wrote it down on paper. I just made a list of 5 things that I want to do on this section. What are they? Yeah, right here. Touch-ups for section 2. Paint random ties in the dark area. Add grass along the creek trackside. Fix pallets near the overpass. Install switch stands. Add the moose. Plan for cafe, diner, and building over just before the overpass, right? That's the area I'm going to focus on next. But right now, I don't want to leave too much behind. Like, I will go back. Like, people talk about, you know, details of people and stuff. I'm not even thinking about that stuff until I get the substance, the primary sort of terrain, substructure, culture, whatever you want to call it, done, right? And then I can go back and revisit it. Because I find with the model railroad, like when you do a bunch of work, like you sort of get into a trance almost, or kind of a blur. And then, you know, you don't really notice it, or you get used to looking at it. And then when you walk away, like when you go away for a while and you come back and you turn a different light on, or, you know, you just see it from a different angle, it looks different, right? Or try holding a mirror up to your work. Like put a little mirror, like, and then look at the mirror, and you'll notice things that you never saw before. Like I noticed that with the camera. Like I'll take photographs and stuff. That's how I pick up flaws. Like that's how I pick up things that I don't see, but other people probably see, you know. And then I go back, right? I study the photo and then I go back. Like, if anything, take photos of your layout and just take a look at your photos and address what bugs you about it. Right? I find that's a good tool to, just see things that normally, you won't see, because we get kind of biased, right? Modeler's bias, I call it. Like, our imagination is a powerful thing. Like, we're actually imagining the scene as we're planting grass and building it up. And, it's sort of like writing. Like, you imagine what you're writing, but when you write, it doesn't always say what you really want it to say, right? And so if you want your scenery to say what you really want it to say, sometimes you got to just stand back and leave it for a day and come back and read it, you know? Yeah, that'll look a bit better. I'll vacuum that up and trim it up a bit, and you know, it, I think it'll look better down by more towards Trackside area. Cheers.